This is part 2 of the review of 2015 on NintendoAddict8 Radio.
Hello everyone, this is NintendoAddict8 for part 2 of my review of 2015. And today we'll be discussing Yokai Watch. Just a heads up, I'm going to be, once again, as it's kind of like the usual thing I seem to be doing, I'm going to criticize the dub again, because they still haven't fixed their problems. Now, I know they're doing that Yokai Watch like marathon thing. I haven't really kept up with it. I've been re-uploading the episodes on my Daily Motion backup channel, in case anyone's wondering. Link to my backup Daily Motion channel is in the description, as it always is, but just in case anyone's wondering, so if YouTube 7778 gets taken down today, then you can still get the episodes, don't worry. At least all the current ones. I personally don't record them, I just take them off of Mewtwo's channel and put them on Daily Motion, just in case Mewtwo's channel gets taken down. I'm surprised it hasn't. PokeCanada got taken down. A bunch of other channels got taken down, but not Mewtwo. I wonder why he hasn't got taken down yet. Well, that's a good thing. But just in case, I've updated my backup Daily Motion account with the episodes he's uploaded, just in case his channel gets taken down. Anyways, back to my discussion. Well, realistically, even though this is called a review of Yokai Watch in 2015, before I get to the English release, let me first make it clear that I didn't really know about Yokai Watch until it was announced for localization in April, with that thing that was like, Yokai Watch sensation from Japan's coming to the US soon, in the holiday 2015 or whatever. And of course, the second I saw that little, like, you know, that one with, like, Nate and Katie's, like, with Koma-san, Jibanyan's, like, and then there's, like, Jim and Ken in the back, and, like, with the Martin stuff. You know the picture I'm talking about. I immediately, I didn't even, like, read the thing yet. I was like, oh, look at this, hey, look at this, Pokemon wannabe, Pokemon copy, Pokemon ripoff, and I pointed out every single possible thing that was wrong about it. Like, oh, that's supposed to be Ash, that's supposed to be the Pokemon, that's supposed to be Pikachu. Of course, that was a bad idea. I hate the comparison between Pokemon and Yokai Watch, just like everyone else does. But at first, I was an avid Yokai Watch hater, and I just called it, yeah. So, yeah. I'm definitely glad I changed my ways, because I'm obviously a very big Yokai Watch fan now. But so I didn't really get into it until July, so I'm going to start from there. But let's actually discuss first how Yokai Watch did as a whole. With that, I'm going to try and get my opinions about the English dub out of the way. I'm going to try, so no promises it's going to fail. But, so, the first big announcement that happened was, of course, at the Level 5 World event they have every April, at least I think it's every April, where they announced Yokai Watch 3, among other things, but the main thing I'm going to discuss is Yokai Watch 3, where they announced the new, well, what the heck is her name? I can't pronounce it correctly. Inaho? I'm probably saying that wrong. That's the way it's spelled, so I'm going to go with that. And then USA Pion as, like, the new protagonist person in Yokai for, like, the Japan, while Keta's supposed to move to the US, which I still don't know how they're going to do that. Which looked interesting, and it's like their excuse of, like, going to the US at this point. but you never know, I guess. May, nothing happened. June, they showed the footage of the English game in the very criticized Nintendo digital event. I bet no one even remembers Yokai Watch was on that thing. When I first saw it once again, I was like, oh, look, it looks like a Pokemon clone. It's got the 3-bits, got the say. Once again, at first, back when I didn't like Yokai Watch at all. And that changed. So in July, nothing happened to my knowledge, except that's when Yokai Watch Busters came out. The original version, the White Dog and Red Cat version, I believe is what they were called. Something like that. And that's where I watched a lot of the Yokai Watch anime and basically really liked the franchise. At least the Japanese anime. Keyword, Japanese. August? Actually, lots of happened in August. This is where I met all the people I know on Twitter, like, I'm just gonna call them by the Twitter handles. What is it? I really like Yokai Watch. Well, that's basically his Twitter handle is. He changes his name every once in a while. I guess his main thing, but his Twitter handle is I really like Yokai Watch. There's also I'm gonna say it's so wrong, but Non-Yuko, Peggy, and a few other people like Naya-chan, as her name is called. She does all the subtitles for the Yokai Watch anime and uploads them on her WordPress account, which I should probably include in the description. And I probably will in this video, in case some of you somehow have not watched the Japanese anime yet. Don't worry, it has English subtitles. That's the whole point of what she does. She subtitles them and even puts proper context in sometimes when they do Japanese specific jokes. But yeah, I met all those people on Twitter. I kind of joined the Yokai Watch fan base, followed everyone on Twitter, was following all the announcements when I was in Hawaii. And then September rolled around, and this is where the dub could have actually lived up to my super unrealistic expectations, when I believe Animation Magic got the right to upload 2 Yokai Watch clips from the first episode. The one where Keta is in front of the tree with Whisper, then there's the one where he summons Jibanyan, and it sounded and looked really good. I didn't even notice Jibanyan's Tails voice yet. I was on the Yokai Watch, if there even is a hype train for it, the Yokai Watch hype train, if that ever existed. There probably is in some small corner of the internet. And then November rolled around. The game came out. I pre-ordered it, but I got Black Ops 3 instead, even though I couldn't play it at the time. So some of you might call me an idiot for getting Black Ops 3 over Yokai Watch, but and in December it came out in Australia, and yeah, that's where we are now. But now let's discuss how Yokai Watch is just done overall. Everyone since August has been talking about, oh, Yokai Watch is declining in popularity in Japan, it's dying in Japan, so it's not good, so it's gonna die here. That was only according to a few people I trust on Twitter. Once again, I really like Yokai Watch to actually have some common sense and think clearly, although a bit even in mid, he's kind of too positive about everything. So it's every single Yokai Watch announcement is all super positive, and that's fine and everything. And I'm complaining, he's like, well, why are you complaining? And I'm like, well, you are super positive about everything. That's fine. I don't mind if he's positive. That's a good thing if he's positive. He's not one of the haters. But it's just kind of something I'm not used to, I guess. Anyways, I'm sure that if that person will know who they are if they're watching this video. So, yeah, no offense. You know who you are. I don't know, it's just I'm not used to someone being super positive about stuff like that. Normally they criticize it all the time. But anyways, so yeah. Granted, the most of the year basically was just us waiting for the localization. It was just us waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, because that's basically almost what the entire year was. And then we got the game, which the games, from what I've heard, is really good. Here's the problem: the first game's one we got, and the second one is so much better. I've played a bit of it before Nintendo region locked my thing again, Yeah. Hashtag end region locking. I'm serious. End region locking Nintendo. But I've heard that the second game is far superior to the first. But guess what? They're gonna. How fast the second games come out here depends on how well the first one does. Now, I believe. Okay, I'm gonna say this completely wrong. Akira Hino, I think is how you pronounce it. He's the CEO of Level 5, and oh yeah, and by the way, they're gonna do they're gonna have some huge game in development that's supposed to be a sequel to a popular game. So people are speculating it's obviously Professor Layton or Dark Cloud 3 or something. It's obviously not Yokai Watch because they're already working on Yokai Watch 3. It's not Ni no Kuni because they recently announced Ni no Kuni 2 for the PS4. But anyways, so yeah, there, I acknowledged it. It's probably Professor Layton or Dark Cloud 3, obviously. It's not gonna be anything else. Maybe Inazuma, but I highly doubt it, because Inazuma doesn't come out here. It only comes out in Europe, Australia, and Japan. Not here, because soccer isn't popular enough here to release it here. And I'm still thinking that's the reason they removed that Inazuma reference in the US dub. Because, Inazuma 11 isn't sold in the US, so why should we put the reference in? Is my logic. But whatever. But yeah. Overall, Yokai Watch as a whole, as far as the Japanese version of the anime is concerned, is like one of my favorite things ever on this planet, pretty much. However, see, if I could review Yokai Watch, I would actually be like this. Up until October, when the English dub came out, it was like a 10 out of 10 for me. We got another sequel announced, we got the spin-offs, we got all this hype, and then the hype is not satisfied at all. At least for me. I know some people were expecting it to turn out like that. I was actually one of those people that was like people were saying, oh, Disney's gonna ruin it, they're gonna censor it, it's gonna be so dumbed down, they gotta water it down from the Japanese version, because, you know, it's gotta be on Disney XD and everything, it's gotta appeal to, like, what, 8-year-olds or whatever, so they can't have all the Japanese stuff in there. I get that logic, but it doesn't work. But I was on the side, I was like, oh, they're gonna keep it just like the Japanese version, just like David said they went on Twitter. It was going to be just like the Japanese version. It would keep in all the jokes or whatever. No, they didn't. Either they did and it didn't work, or they didn't and it was super cringy because they did it in a way that sounds so bad. Either way, I know it could have turned out way worse. I can already see how much worse it could be, but my main complaint with the dub has always been, I've said this in multiple radio discussion segments, I think, but it's been the voice acting. I should rephrase that. It's not the voices. The only voice I don't like is Kuma, or Bear, as he's called in the English version. The English names. It's like the Yokai Watch can be summed up with this, actually. The price of localization. That is what you get. The price of localization is that everyone has to watch the localization version of it first. So if they don't like it, then they'll just hate the whole franchise, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, don't, the English version is like garbage, you should watch the Japanese version. But if I say that, they're gonna be like, oh, you're a weeaboo, you're a Japanese elitist, or something like that. Which is like, I don't really care, I got a few comments like that on Tumblr, and I'm just like, okay, is it a problem I have an opinion? Well, whatever. I mean, it's Tumblr. What do you expect? I'll just block them and call it a day. But anyways. But yeah. The English anime, which is I knew the game was gonna be fine because the game doesn't have any voice acting. The first game has like no voice acting, next to no voice acting. So I knew that wouldn't be the problem. It was the anime I was worried about, not the game, not the merch, just the anime. Because I knew the second I heard Disney XD was the one that was going to air it, I'm like, this dub is screwed. It's not going to be good. It's not going to live up to my unrealistic expectations where everything sounds perfectly, just like the Japanese version. I'm not saying like the same voices or anything. That would never happen in a million years. But I mean, like, they should have said at least the same dialogue. If they said the same dialogue as in the Japanese version, but had the English voices, that would have been fine. But that's my problem. The dialogue. They changed too much of the dialogue, and I hated that. I hated that so much. You don't even know. Like, and I've probably said this already, but Koma-san's English dialogue, it's so cringy. I don't like it. I get people like it. It's funny, some people, but it's like, I like the old Koma-san with Mongi and Zura and his better voice. It's just, why have they changed that? I understand he's from the country or whatever, even the Japanese version, but that doesn't mean you make him sound, you know, it doesn't mean you give him cowboy western dialogue. I don't mind if he has the cowboy accent, I just don't want the dialogue. If they kept this Japanese dialogue but gave him the cowboy voice, that would have been fine. It's the dialogue. It's all the dialogue. So, for that reason, I think I'm just going to leave Yokai Watch as this. The game, I'm going to give that like a 9 or a 10. I haven't played it yet, but knowing how well Yokai Watch is played for me, even on the Japanese versions, I'm going to say merchandise gets a 10, and merchandise gets a 10, everything else gets a 10, the game gets a 10, the anime gets like a 6. I'm serious, it ranks that low. It might not sound like that. I'm not putting it like a 1 or anything, but it's like, no, just no. It's nice that it exists and they brought it over, but they brought it over in the wrong way and they changed too much dialogue. They censored it too much. Even though I knew they were going to censor stuff, it's the kind of stuff where it's like, is it really that controversial that you have to censor it? Ooh, so people don't complain and parents don't phone in like, my kid shouldn't be seeing this, even though it's not controversial. People care too much about everything nowadays. They care too much about everything, so I don't understand that logic, but if I could have it my way, I would have put Yokai Watch on like Netflix or YouTube or something, or Crunchyroll, or some place that doesn't have these artificial censorship, stupid restrictions. And either way, none of that matters. Everything I just said still doesn't matter, because a good chunk of the population still thinks Yokai Watch is a stupid Pokemon clone. So until that stigma dies, the Yokai Watch is not going to gain popularity. Until people... Okay, here's what I would say is the perfect setup. The English game, the Japanese subtitled episodes made by that person on WordPress that's on Twitter, and yeah, that would be the perfect way to experience Yokai Watch in my opinion. But no, we can't do it because we can't air the Japanese version on Cartoon Network because, that wouldn't work. And you still have to censor stuff. Even if they just put the Japanese dialogue over it. I'm sorry if I sound so negative about this, but it's like, I'm still pretty salty about how the anime turned out. Now I'm really worried about how the movie is going to turn out, because the movie is okay. The movie is going to get some hardcore changes. I can already see it now. I haven't seen the second one, of course, because it's not out here, and Naya-chan on Twitter said that she can't translate until the DVD release comes out, which isn't going to be until, like, what, June, July at this point? This is how it was last year, I think. So we gotta wait like 6 months, yippity-doo, but I guess we can't really do anything about it. Oh well. Hopefully the movie turns out well, and hopefully Yokai Watch 2 will make it over to the US. And I still believe 2016 will be the real year of Yokai Watch, as Hasbro said in that original introduction video back in like March. But 2015, most of it, I would give it a 10. But because of the way the English dub turned out, I'm gonna knock it down to an 8. 2 points lost because they failed at the English dub. In my opinion, don't flame me, don't kill me, because I have a different opinion than you. If you love the English dub, that's fine, enjoy it. But I just can't stand it. They changed too much, and I don't really like it. I'm just gonna stick with the Japanese version. But I still can't even watch the Japanese version because every single episode has like a 15-minute segment with like Inaho like protective agency or something like that. All I want is 30 minutes of Keta, not 15 minutes of either one. But I guess I can't really change that either. Especially when Inaho is probably a permanent protagonist there'll be like a 15 minutes for one character and 15 minutes for the other. On top of the, like that like Fist of the North Star ripoff with Jibanyan or with Koma-san or whatever. But yeah, up until the English dub, this year was pretty good for Yokai Watch, but that ruined it for me. So 8 out of 10. For the most part, it was good, but the English dub, I just don't like it. Once again, don't kill me. You can voice your opinion in the comments. Go right ahead. I'm not gonna block you. You can. I'd actually like to see what some of your guys' thoughts on the English dub. Like, what do you think about it? Did you think it was censored too much? Do you think it's just fine? Like, what are your thoughts on it? I would actually legitimately like to know. But yeah. So final score for Yokai Watch in 2015, 8 out of 10. Lost 2 points because, in my opinion, the English dub was ruined because of the need to censor it and make the dialogue toned down. Yet again, that's from the same person that didn't know the original lyrics to the Yokai Exercise. The original one, not the new one. That's like the one, that beach song or whatever. Fuda, like that one. But anyways, and I'm like, well, and I complain all the time about them not translating it, and then when they do translate it, I'm still mad because it sounds so stupid. But aside from the Yokai Exercise and the English dub, this was a pretty decent year. Hopefully they can fix all this next year when the Yokai Watch 2 part with Yokai Watch Zero Skit Watch will be available in the dub, which is probably going to be here in late February, early March. Coincidentally, when the Call of Duty map pack comes out for Xbox. Anyways, so yeah, that's all I have to say. It's been 20 minutes. For the most of 2015, I loved this franchise, and I still love it, but that English dub gave me a salty taste in my mouth that hopefully Level 5 can patch up with subsequent episodes, especially because I think they're going to do Season 2 very well. Or what the US versions of Season 2 is going to be. Basically starting with Episode 27 with Steve Jones! Introduces the new Type 0 watch, or new for us at least. You know, the prototype watch. Well, no, it's not even prototype anymore. It's just the Yokai Watch U. It's just Yokai Watch U in Japan now, not even prototype. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop rambling about the same thing over and over. So final score 8 out of 10. That's my opinion. Give me your thoughts on that in the comments if you feel like it. You don't have to, obviously, but I'd like to see some of your guys' opinions on how this all turned out. So anyways, yeah, this is NintendoAddict8 signing out. Thanks for stopping by.